We're going to be switching over to the Bunbury Players. Yay!
Hi.
And you're doing that title. Honestly, it's like I'm typing it. The gamma rays. Wait a minute. The effect of the gamma rays on the moon, man in the moon miracle. And what is going on?
I think one of the New York Times reviews when it first, came out was the longest title.
I think it is the
Most
longest
awkward,
title.
Yeah.
So tell me about it. What's it about?
Well,
After the eclipse, we got the man in the moon here. So
Right.
let's go.
Gamma rays.
Right, and it does have a kind of cosmic framework, so I guess it's a good comparison.
Great.
It's a play written by Paul Zindel. Was the first play he wrote, and it
Oh,
won
it's the
the
first play
Pulitzer.
he wrote, and it's very popular.
And it won the Pulitzer Prize
Right.
in
Isn't that nice?
1971.
The first play you write.
Right, and he was a high school science teacher, but the play is really autobiographical.
Oh, really? Okay.
Much of it derived from his own childhood and dysfunctional mother.
Oh,
Hey.
oh, are you the mom? Okay. Let's see now. And we have the, first of all, we have the director, of course, Maureen. And then Deb, you're the mom?
Mom,
Beatrice?
Beatrice Hunsdorfer. I think one of the great American roles of all time. I mean, she's so chewy. So the play is basically the story of Beatrice and her two children. My daughter, Matilda, has a science fair where she has been asked to grow man-in-the-moon marigolds that have been exposed
To gamma rays.
gamma rays.
There we go.
I am also gamma rays, right? I also represent the gamma rays of the play, shooting toxic energy into the air, and to see what light and beauty can grow from the toxicity of the gamma rays.
Okay, and how did you prepare for that part?
Oh my gosh. 50 years of abuse. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't think so.
I'm kidding. So it's an extraordinarily difficult part, and she's very wordy. She says every thought that comes into her head.
I know people like that.
Right?
She's very real.
It's like,
She's
no,
very
no.
real.
She's very real, and she had a very difficult childhood. I'm mostly focused on what creates the villain, right? We focus when we see the play.
Do you see the mom as a villain?
I don't, but I would say that you probably, as the viewer, would.
Okay.
I like to see what created her, right? Her mother died young. Her father died young also. Her husband died and left her with 2 children in this, a period where women did not have the opportunities to own property
Right,
and have
yeah.
credit and
Let's
necessarily
talk
open
about credit
businesses.
cards, yeah.
Beatrice's greatest dream at this point in her life is to open a tea shop, right? Because that was one of the ways that
So
women...
she had a role that she wanted to forward.
She wanted to be a dancer, she was a creative, and she found herself, locked into a situation that she really can't handle.
Right.
But she has this amazing 2 children and this beautiful young daughter who is a scientist, and she's just interested in the stars and the cosmos. And to see through these marigolds as she's growing them, what hope she's able to create from no matter what sort of circumstances.
I want to see this play. It sounds really good. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah.
I think it's really one of
Maureen,
the
how big is your cast?
It's a cast of 5. It's an all-woman cast.
Oh, an all-woman, okay.
There are 2 adults and 3 children, 3 teenagers in the play. The daughters that Deb's referencing, Tilly, who is the would-be scientist, who's influenced by a different gamma ray to a teacher who reaches out to her.
Oh, okay.
And Paul Zindel went on to become a novelist of a lot of teen novels, and he was very, very interested in the kid who was the misfit or felt alone in the world. And I think as a playwright and as a teacher, he really wanted to figure out how he could be gamma rays too. And so
I love
this
the
child,
premise.
Yeah, this child is really influenced by a teacher who lets her see that she's part of a glorious universe, even though her mother is just trying to claw her way out of the hole that she's kind of found herself in, or as she says, the mud pool, the mud pit that she's found herself in.
So the kids have to really survive the mother's anxieties. I would say maybe.
And wrath.
And alcoholism.
Oh,
So yeah, there are
missed
many
that
people.
one. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, there are many people who find the play to be very, very dark, but it's always appealed to me because it really so powerfully communicates the fact that even in the darkest of situations, you know, the possibility of thriving and growing and, you know, seeing yourself as powerful within the universe is there.
Does it have a happy ending? That's what I want to know.
It does.
Well, I think it has a hopeful ending.
A hopeful. I like even hopeful better than
Yes,
happy sometimes.
yeah, and I think that one of the challenges we've set ourselves as we've been working on this is that Beatrice could be seen as a villain.
A monster, really.
A monster, really. She's could be seen as a monstrous mother.
You mean towards her kids
Towards
or
her kids.
towards herself?
And towards herself. I mean, she's agoraphobic. You know, she's trapped.
Well, she lost her mother. She lost her father.
and
she lost
that's
her husband, and now she's got
exactly.
these kids.
And that's what we're trying to do, is try to, hopefully the audience will leave with a sense of sympathy for her also, and happy that, in fact, there is a hopeful ending.
Yeah. Now, so where are you performing this?
This is going to be at the Albany Barn.
Okay, and that's a great. Are you doing this on the stage or in the circle?
Well, that's very interesting. It'll be a combination because there's a science fair that needs to happen on the stage,
Okay.
and that will be on the stage. But we're doing it on the floor, and we're trying to make sure the audience is practically sitting right in Beatrice's kitchen.
Well, I attended at the Albany Barn a play there, and it was done on the floor, and it was like you felt that you were in the play almost. I mean, you weren't, exposing yourself to have to act, but
Right.
the point is you felt that you were there.
And that's exactly what we want to do. So we want this to be an intimate experience. And
So is it basically a kitchen that?
it's Beatrice's catch-all room, I guess.
So it's kind of interesting the way you can lay things out to make it look like a kitchen.
Well, in fact, her dad was a vegetable vendor, and so she has ended up living in what had been the vegetable vendor
Storage,
store.
kind of,
So all of the remnants of that will
how
surround the
cool.
audience. They have
Who's doing the set?
Steve Segura.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the first time he's worked with
I like
Bunbury.
to always give a little credit to
Yeah.
people that do. Because, you go to a play and you see the play and you see the actors, but there's a lot that goes, there's the lighting and the sound, and there's so much that goes into productions. It's not just the act, not that I diminish the actors, believe me, but the point is that there's a lot behind any production.
This is a huge group effort.
It
for
is,
sure.
and I was really excited that Steve, saw the vision and was willing to play with it and really enhance it.
Has it been an easy process for you, or has it been challenging?
Well, I think because, as Deb said, the play in many ways is a long, once in a while interrupted monologue of a woman, who just goes from one thing to another. So there's a lot of challenge, and I do think the challenge of humanizing her, because she does say outrageous things to her kids, and she does some outrageous things.
The challenge for me was finding the love.
Yeah, that's
Where's
it,
the
exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Because otherwise there's no...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it's an interpretation that you have the words on paper.
That's it.
But where do you go from there? Because then that's what the director and the actor come together with. Yeah. So we need to talk about the dates, and I think the dates are the 25th through the May 4th, right?
That's right.
2 weekends?
Yes.
Okay, and that is at the Albany Barn, and there's not a parking lot, but there's plenty of parking on street
parking, yes.
Yeah, I mean, because I didn't have any trouble parking on it, and it's well lit, so it's not an issue.
And Bunbury has grown with the philosophy that everyone should be able to come to theater, and so there's no ticket price. Donations.
Pay what you will.
And donations are accepted and suggested.
And please donate, because like I say, there's a lot that goes into a production, and they got to buy their sound equipment, they got to buy their lighting, or whether they're using it, or whatever. Lots goes into production, so please be generous when you go there.
Yeah.
Break a leg.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good.